Hi, I'm Andy Pocock from Living Real. I'm the founder of Living Real and Clinical Director of Compassion Services. Today I want to talk to you about communication. Not just general communication, I want to talk specifically about communication in conflict. The reason, the why of this video is very simple. I see people every day stuck in their communication. People who come to gridlock and just can't get over and are unable to communicate about specific issues. This applies to couples, husbands and wives, or just men and women in long-term relationships. It also applies to parents and their kids, and also employers and employees. So this tool can be used across the board. In my practice, I use it mainly in the couple counseling sessions. We teach this at marriage seminars as well, and we've given this out to literally hundreds of couples over the last couple of years. So I wanted to create a product, a tool, something you can download and hopefully help you in your communication. The product is actually very, very simple. It's called Cure in Safety. It's a product developed by Dr. John Warlow many, many years ago, a couple of decades ago, and he has put it out there on the market, and I've been working with John now for 8 years, and we use this, as I said, often in our couple therapy. So the process is very, very simple. The Cure in Safety is 2 acronyms, and it is like walking up a set of stairs. The essential thing is that you have to have this stair or this step totally established before you can move up to the next one. And once you have that established, you can move up to that one, and then finally to the top step. The challenge here is very often when we're communicating, we get stuck somewhere along the way, and then we need to move all the way down to the bottom again and start again and slowly move up from step to step. Can't jump a step, we have to step on each step and progressively move through it. So what are the 4 steps? The bottom one is connection. Once we have connection, we move up to understanding. Once we have connection and understanding, and once that is established, we then go to response, or what we usually do is just try and fix something. And then the last step is to evaluate. So I want to take you through these 4 steps quite quickly. We're going to give some detail later, but just start with connection. Connection is the ability to have your emotions in check, where you're not angry or mad or sad, and just be able to turn up and connect with the other person. We need the right environment. And John Gottman talks about a soft startup. This really applies to connection. There's nothing worse than trying to talk to someone when they already have an attitude. Something like, we've got to talk. Straight away, you're on the defensive and connection is lost. Once we have connection and we can feel the rapport between the 2 of us, we then move on to understanding. The understanding step is seeing what is happening for the other person. This is a real paradigm shift. Normally in our communication, we want to be understood. So we're busy pushing our position across to the other person. In the Cure model, we seek to understand the other person. Once we understand them, and we have connection and understanding, we then try and fix the problem or respond. Once we have all 3 of those, we go to evaluate. How did we go? Were your needs met? Was I heard? Were you heard? Do we have a solution that works for both of us? So that's the progression, and it's really simple. But how do we do it? The detail of how we communicate, how we cure in safety, is using the safety acrostic. First of all, safety. Safety is a thing in itself. If we're going to have a detailed, intimate conversation, and I'm able to share my heart with you and vice versa, there has to be an element of safety to start with. And that's the responsibility of both people. So if we're coming in and the body language is all closed and we're angry with each other, safety is not there, and I can almost guarantee communication and conflict resolution is not going to happen. So we are both, everyone involved in the conversation is responsible for safety. Okay, let's look at some details. S stands for small. The smaller the number of people in the group, the higher the safety and the easier it is to be able to communicate. So really recommend, if it's a couple, just the two of you. If it's a family issue, just the family. Keep it as small as possible. Don't try and involve other people unless you absolutely need a mediator. A is for attitude. The attitude that we bring into communication or conflict resolution is absolutely essential. And to help you understand this, we talk about the 3 C's. I often say to my clients, if you could just do the 3 C's, you probably wouldn't need to see me as a therapist. The first C is care. Do I care? Am I showing care? And the other person, are they caring? Is there a caring environment? Because without care, very hard to have safety. So we both have to take responsibility for care. The second C is consent. So often in our relationships, we think we have the right to talk about something when and where we want. That's just not true. We need to ask the other person for consent. Can we talk about this? Is this a good time to talk about it? I'm not talking about sweeping things under the carpet and avoiding the issue. I'm not talking about that at all. I am talking about timing. I'm talking about getting into a place where your attitude or your emotions are right and not ambushing the other person. Again, consent, that whole thing of walking home, getting home end of the day, and your partner's there saying, we need to talk. My goodness me, it's just not going to work. There's not going to be a good communication in that process. The last C is confidentiality. If we're going to have safety, it's important that I know I'm talking to you or talking to my partner, whoever it is, and them alone. It really there must be an assurance that it's not going to go beyond that. Okay, so the attitude is that of care, consent, and confidentiality. The F stands for face-to-face. And I guess the face-to-face part of it is just really turning up and handling yourself in the communication. So to remember this, we've called it the 5 F's. I kind of see this as the Queensberry rules of communication. The first thing we agree is that we are not going to fight or flight. Now, fight and flight are the 2 natural instincts when we get into a communication gridlock or a conflict situation. If you're the type of person that gets angry and your emotion get up, chances are that you're going to be a fighter. If you're someone that feels a little bit more intimidated and usually backs down, the chances are that you're going to flight. It's exactly the same emotion, but in the opposite way. One stands up and the other one runs away. Then we agree not to fizz. I know I've done this in conflict, where your emotions get the best of you and you just fizz. You say things you don't mean, your whole tone gets out of control, and the conflict isn't resolved because the emotions just boil. The other thing I see men do so often is fake. Faking is just a classic, you win, doesn't matter. And we need to turn up if we're going to sort things out. So we don't fight, we don't flight, we don't fizz, we don't fake. And last of all, we don't flop. And flopping is just the classic why bother attitude. It's just falling in a heap and not standing up and taking your place in the conversation. So the attitude is very caring. The face-to-face is that I'm going to handle myself, I'm going to turn up and I'm going to give my best. The best of me is going to be in this communication process. E is for empathy. And this, I guess, is the key part of good communication, of conflict resolution. Again, as I said earlier on, so often we just want to be understood. We push our opinion. In this model, empathy is listening and hearing the other person. What's it like in their shoes? How do they feel about it? How do they see it? How does it affect them? Once we have empathy, we start getting real understanding. And if you remember the little model that we were going through, the CURE model, empathy is now the understanding step. So the small and attitude, face to face, that's all connection. Empathy sits fair and square in the understanding step of conflict resolution. It's probably the most important step. And very often we skip past it. We try and get a resolution or try and fix the problem without actually understanding what the problem is. So I really encourage you to spend as much time as necessary in the empathy stage or in the understanding stage. T is for time. You cannot communicate and you cannot resolve conflict without adequate time. There's been a lot of research done over the years, started with Lesotho, and John Gottman has carried it on. And he talks about how a negative is 5 times stronger than a positive. And so we have this 5-to-1 ratio of positives to negatives. If we're going to have a good relationship, we need to have at least 5 times as many positives as a negative. And the only way to do that is to have time. So you can't race through this. You need to set time aside. That's where the consent comes in. Have we got enough time to talk it through? Yes, we do. Can we turn up? Yes, we can. And then we're going to give this as much time as it requires. It may not even happen in one session. It may be doing it, coming back. But as the positives, as people feel heard, as people feel understood, then the conflict resolution starts to slowly evolve and slowly happen. And why is just for you questions. The whole CURE model is about understanding the other. How are you? How do you see it, as I said? How does it affect you? What's your opinion? And if we do this well, we will get full understanding. I want you to see something here. We haven't even got to the response step. When we jump to the response step before this whole process, it's really like, you've probably experienced it yourself. Someone comes in and you're trying to discuss something and they talk over you and just try and give you a solution. And it's like 2 rams butting heads. They don't understand you and they're trying to give you a solution and just bang, bang together. And I'll see this so often in couple conflict where often the husband's trying to fix the wife. She doesn't want to be fixed, she wants to be heard. And it's just this continual knocking of heads. Or sometimes it's like 2 positive magnets. And the 2 positives kind of push each other away. And the 2 can't connect and communicate because they've missed the connection and the understanding. So with the connection and understanding, the response step is really quite toxic. And sorry men, but very often men think they can miss the first 2 steps and just bring a solution. And it's not a solution that's required. It's connection and understanding. So I really want to encourage you, if you're a fixer, if you're someone who goes to the response step really quickly, settle down, handle your emotions, connect and understand first. Once we've done these 3 and we've got to the response step, very often the response is invited. If someone feels understood, very often they will say to you, what do you think I should do? What's your opinion? How can I fix this? When that happens, chances are that you're really going to get a solution. You really are going to get an outcome that works for everyone. But while you're trying to force it down them, they tend to resist it. So I encourage you to sit back and wait for the response to be invited. And when it's invited, then stand up by all means and give your solution, give your opinion, try and fix the problem. The last step, the E right at the top of the cure model, is just simply to evaluate. How do we go? Do you feel heard? Do you feel understood? Is the outcome satisfactory? And if we do this, and we can able to have a look and reflect back on, did this work for you? Did it work for me? The conflict is usually resolved, and certainly the communication will be very well established and very strong, and both people will walk away feeling connected, understood, and probably really cared for and appreciated. So that's the cure model. I encourage you to make sure you go through the steps. Don't rush. It needs time, and I'm really hoping it works for you. Thank you.